MakingAScene.org brings you delay versus reverb, when to use each. Every Friday, thousands of new tracks are uploaded to streaming platforms. In that environment, an unclear lyric or a muddy vocal is an immediate reason for a listener to hit skip. Many home producers experience a very specific symptom. A mix sounds huge on studio headphones, but the moment it is played on a phone speaker or a car stereo, the arrangement collapses. It sounds like wet cardboard. Translation issues usually point back to how an artist manages the sense of space, specifically the reflections and echoes that surround the dry instruments. Reverb is seductive because it sounds cinematic and flattering when a vocal or instrument is soloed. In isolation, a dry vocal can feel naked, and one click later it becomes dramatic. When the full band enters, sharp vertical transients, the punch of drums and lyrics, are suddenly swallowed by overlapping reverb tails. Every lingering echo piles low-mid energy into the mix, physically crowding the arrangement and making the singer harder to understand. Often, the response is to boost the EQ, compress harder, and turn up the volume of the lead instruments to compensate for the lack of clarity. But those moves usually make the track harsher. The mix was simply overwhelmed by too much atmospheric energy in the wrong places. Reverb mechanically simulates thousands of physical room reflections. The sound bounces off walls and ceilings, smearing together before returning to the ear. Your brain interprets that blur of reflections as physical distance. Delay works differently. Instead of the smear of reflections, delay generates distinct, mathematically timed repeats of the original audio, leaving clear, negative space between each repetition. Because the dry signal stays centered, delay preserves clarity. Repetitions sit behind the vocal rather than on top of it. Compare that to reverb, which intersects the core sound from every angle, wrapping around the vocal and blurring the performance. Delay allows you to create perceived size and width, while keeping the singer present and understandable. This separation is why so many professional vocals feel massive while still sounding direct. Different genres have different rules for space. Country music relies on extreme clarity to prioritize the story, so mixers often use subtle delays to add depth without burying the lyric. Rock music needs tight spaces to maintain drum punch, while hip-hop uses selective delay throws, echoing specific words to create drama, without softening the authority of the beat. Regardless of the genre, the most common error is leaving these effects full range. Allowing an echo to carry every frequency from the deep bass to the bright treble is what clutters the mix. Applying a high-pass filter removes the rumbling lows that cause moath, while a low-pass filter tames the piercing highs. This keeps the reflections from competing with the lead instrument. AI-assisted tools can speed up this process by scanning the track and highlighting where these frequency conflicts are happening, though they cannot replace the producer's taste. A polished, professional finish requires the discipline to carve out and delete unwanted frequencies from your reverb and delay returns. To troubleshoot a cloudy mix, try muting every single reverb send and listening to the song from the beginning. When all the effects are gone, the drums often regain their punch, and the vocals snap into focus. From this dry state, add effects back one at a time. Start with one main reverb for depth, and one specific delay for support. If you reach for a third effect, ask exactly what it is adding to the song. Stripping the effects away often reveals that the groove and energy were already working. They were just being obscured by excessive ambiance. There is a persistent marketing idea that professional records require complex processing chains and massive plugin libraries. Real professionalism usually comes from the opposite approach. It is about practicing restraint and choosing to use less than you think you need. Listeners respond because the lyric connected and the emotion came through clearly, not because the reverb decay time was technically perfect. Make sure you check out the other great articles and resources on MakingAScene.org, the place the indie artist goes to build the new music industry. When these effects are used with restraint, they stop being technical decorations and start framing the emotional narrative of the song.